Hey y'all, what's happening? Chinese here, also known as China L. Custon, actress and independent filmmaker. Happy Earth Day. When I say that, I only mean we all are experiencing Earth today. We woke up today. God allowed us to wake up today. So happy Earth Day to everybody who sees this video. I hope your day was really pleasant and peaceful and full of joy and laughing out loud, and I hope someone blessed your day. I want to say respect to the legacy of the actress dancer Susan Douglas. She passed away, I believe, yesterday, and my prayers go out to her family and her close friends and her fellow artists and her fans. I'm one of her fans. I was moved by her work, her beautiful work, artistry in Jason's Lyric as Jason's mother. She was, the co-lead actress in the movie Taps. I've never seen it in totality. It was co-starring Gregory Hines, or starring Gregory Hines. She's from Chicago. I discovered that today. Beautiful woman. I also remember enjoying her work in Inkwell, starring Lorenz Tate and Jada Pinkett. She was in How Stella Got Her Groove Back as Angela Bassett's sister, the snobbish sister. She was in Parenthood, comedy sitcom with Robert Townsend. And I know there are countless other films that she was in. I had an opportunity to see her perform live and here in New York. She acted in Azariah's God. Azariah is a beautiful actress, writer. She's so beautiful and kind. She wrote a play, and Susan Douglas acted. They did a public stage dramatic reading of the play. I believe it's in 2013, 2014, between 2013 and 2015. I don't remember which year, but I got a chance to see her performing in that dramatic public stage reading of Azariah Gunn's play, and she was wonderfully nuanced, and she was just so good. She was very, very good. I was like, wow, very moved by her performance. So and she leaves her son and her husband. So respect to Susan Douglas. So today I was like, I need to do. Oh, I want to talk about the movie Summer of Soul. An acquaintance treated me to see the documentary Summer of Soul, which was produced by Questlove. He's a member of the Roots, the hip hop group Roots, and that documentary was so touching. It was essentially about during Woodstock 1969. There's this peace, love, like musical concert, right? And took place upstate New York, I believe. There was another concert that happened in 1969, the same year, in Harlem, in Marcus Garvey Park. I've been there a number of times. They have a lot of great artistic festivals happening and screenings and such. And it featured like these very prominent Black artists that covered the genre of blues. B.B. King was a part of it was called Summer of Soul, Harlem's cultural event, I believe. Don't quote me, but it featured B.B. King singing, Gladys Knight and the Pips, Mahalia Jackson, Mavis Staples and her sister and her father, Pop Staples, young Stevie Wonder at 19 years old. Let me see who else was in it. Stevie Wonder. I'm so sorry. There was the gentleman from the Temptations. He was the lead singer of the Temptations. Forgive me for forgetting his name. He had a raspy voice, very tall, very slender, very talented vocalist. He sang a solo song. He was I didn't know he could hit the falsetto like that. It was so many artists, and then they were also interviewing attendees during that concert, and they interviewed some of the Marilyn McCoo and her husband. I forgot the name of that group as well, but it was just a number of soulful groups. Again, gospel groups there that were popular in 1969. So it was gospel, blues, R&B, Latin jazz, I think Cuban jazz in particular. I mean, the one part, just with him interviewing some of the attendees and the musical artists who performed there, like he would show them the footage and they would just well up with tears or burst into laughter, just recalling that experience, either being a performer or being a witness of that great artistry as an audience member. And Mahalia, they showed a clip, and Nina Simone, they showed a clip of Mahalia Jackson performing one of her gospel songs, and y'all, I was done. I mean, the way she interpreted that song, I was so moved in my spirit and my soul. And the thing is, as she was singing was from her gut, with such passion and power and vulnerability. I'm sorry, but it made me think about the blues. Because we know in history that gospel is a descendant of the blues, right? Because enslaved Black people in the North America and in the South in particular, it started there as they were, toiling in the fields, right? Picking cotton or vegetables or tobacco. They would moan and they would wail and they would sing, because that would a coping mechanism to get them through the long, arduous, painful, stressful day, right? And out of that came the blues. And it made me as a descendant so proud and so compassionate for my biological and tribal cultural ancestors, and that this beautiful art came out of all of that pain and endurance and overcoming and weeping and joy and love, right? And perseverance. So respect to our ancestors and to their allies. But I was just like, oh my God, when she was singing so hard, I was like, ooh, and she just transported me back into that time where ancestors had to sing. That was the one thing they had control over, was their voice, at least vocally, like in song, right? They had power. They could sing whatever they chose to. Well, they had to sing in code, right? But that's the creativity that they had control over, that they could release some of that sorrow through song. I mean, how powerful is that? It's how powerful. So I was so moved. I was so touched in my soul, and Mahalia was singing so, woo! And then Mavis Staples joined in. They sang Pops and Mavis Staples, and then she said, Mahalia asked her, Mahalia said, I'm not feeling well, so if you can help me sing. And Mavis Staples said that Mahalia was like her hero. So for her to ask her, she was just like so honored, and she got up and she sang. And Mavis, she didn't sing again. They don't sing, they sang with an A. They don't even know what it is to sing. They were singing. And it just made me so proud to be connected to that tribe. Well, we are a beautiful people. We really are. Wow, and respect to the brother, I forget his name, Johnson, who made a choice to put that together along with New York City and the mayor in 1969 in Harlem. It was just the interviews and the performances that we saw, and to see 19-year-old Stevie Wonder and young Gladys Knight and the Pips, and I mean the choreography. Shout out to the choreographer the choreography and the way they would dress so nice, and they could dance so quick and smooth and still harmonize. I mean, I was just like, whoa. It was a great documentary. If you get a chance, check out Summer of Soul. You can watch it on Hulu in the privacy of your home, or you can go to the cinema and watch it. It's at limited theaters. And here in New York, it's at the Angelica in Soho. I don't know where it is in other cities, but just Google it, and you will not regret it. Or get the Hulu. You won't regret. If you have a soul, you won't regret experiencing that documentary that showcases Black music and some of the Black performers who gave life to that music. Also, on another artistic tip, I'm really, really, really elated about how my feature-length screenplay, To Cook or Not to Cook, is progressing. I finally got out of the building the house phase. So what I mean by that is, for me, writing the first draft of a screenplay for me is so challenging and not tedious, but challenging, and like sometimes you just feel like you're just writing garbage, it's just like, oh, you don't even you want to start, but then trying to write second act is, it's something else, okay? For something to start, these ideas to start here, and you have to put it on the paper or type it nowadays, it's something else. But I'm glad that I'm out of that. I'm out of the woods. So I have the house. I built the house. So now I'm in the aspect of decorating, which is called the rewriting phase, right? Where you have the foundation. So now you can just add things, you can take away things. It's not really moving the story forward, and you can just look at it like spread out, You're not starting from scratch anymore. Like, the house is built, the frames are up, the electricity, the plumbing is all good. Now you're just decorating, right? So I'm so happy to be a part of that phase, to be in that phase of my screenwriting To Cook or Not to Cook. Yeah. And, shout out to some fellow actor writers who allow themselves to be a sounding board for me, and them sharing like some of their tips that they've done, that they use, and me talking it out and I came to some discoveries to make it a more impactful screenplay. So I'm really, really happy about that. And yeah, I'm really hoping that To Cook or Not to Cook move people the way Dark Seed has moved people. I know I'm not supposed to try to compete with my first officially full-length film, but I'm trying to compete with Dark Seed. I'm trying to write an even better film than Dark Seed, to show my progression, just to progress, just to do better and to grow. I just want to grow, keep growing as a screenwriter, and I hope to illustrate my growth in storytelling and the genre of film. So yeah, I'm really, really, really happy about the discoveries I made with it. And listen, whatever you all are pursuing, whatever it is, like, sometimes you have to step away and then you come back refreshed. Because I stepped away from To Cook or Not to Cook. Like, I worked on it a little, like I stopped working on it for like 3-4 months. I was done because I overwhelmed myself with it. Like, I had a deadline. I didn't even have a deadline, but I was like overwhelming, like, I got to get it done. And then I just stepped away because I was frustrated, and came back to it in like April and left it alone. And then I came back to it in June and then left it alone. And I came back to it again here in July. And I'm not going to leave it alone again. I'm done with leaving it alone. I'm ready to move forward. But yeah, so I hope that this video inspires you in some way, whatever your pursuit, whatever you're pursuing. Like, don't give up on your goals, your dreams. Don't do it. Just because my goal is, I always hope that my storytelling move people in their soul to laughter, to understanding, to enlightenment, to relatability in some way, so people can see themselves, hear their conversations, see their nonverbals, you know, or say, oh, I didn't think about it like that, or that's an interesting perspective to have, a way of looking at something. I wouldn't do that. Oh, I would do that. And it captivates you. It is the highest honor compliment when a person watches your film more than one time, right? And so I'm hoping that I tell it in such a way where people want to experience it repeatedly, right? That is my hope, that it touches them in such a way, that it captivates them in such a way. Anyway, you guys, I've talked enough. Again, rest in peace to Suzanne Douglas. Check out her films if you have an opportunity, and take care. Peace. Chinese.